Welcome to a special edition of Corner to Corner Caden Verse Complex with everything going on, particularly with Jake Paul, Gervonta Tank Davis, and the Jake Paul sweepstakes. We say, hey, we got to get together and record a quick video. I'm Caden.
What's good? I'm Complex. You know, there's so much drama in these Twitter streets. It's kind of hard being Jake Paul. Let's see what's going on here, man. I mean, there's a lot happening. We had to come to you on the middle of the week. This couldn't wait till the weekend. Let's take a look.
It couldn't wait. We had to get to it right now. So first, we're just going to show you MVP Most Valuable Promotions announcement that they're canceling the fight. They said they're no longer moving forward with the fight on November 14th, and they said that fans who purchase tickets will receive a refund in 14 to 24 days. So moving away from that, we kind of got some insight as to why this fight was canceled. As Complex and I brought up on Sunday, this is being put on by Netflix. So this is a streaming service that is paying fighters up front to put on a show. Unlike the former major events that were put on by promoters that were direct to consumers, where the promoters were going to take the loss, so they were less likely to cancel events because they needed to get their money from the pay-per-view sales. This is something different. And Jake Paul said there's a video that he reviewed of the incident that confirms the allegations. And so that is what contributed to him canceling the fight. And he said that on Aiden Ross's stream. So let's listen to what let's listen to what Jake Paul had to say about the DV allegations for Gervonta Davis.
Bro, he pulled tootsies and beat up a girl, dragged her through the parking lot, and punched her in the face. And it's like, bro.
Okay.
Like,
wait, but how do you know that happened?
It's a lawsuit. Miami-Dade is coming. There's video, like everything, bro. He did this shit in public. Like, you have to understand, this guy was sober, driving to Tootsies, and it's just like, I'm gonna beat this girl up. Like, he wasn't even drunk. Just on video, and he ruins his own life, his own sport. He sets a bad example for people. Like, I don't know, bro. He pulled.
Yeah, and so you hear Jake Paul saying that there's video that he watched, and he described what he observed on the video. Now, first, I want to state, because I know that I just laughed at a portion of the video, and I want to make sure that we take this very seriously. These allegations are serious. But what I was laughing at when he was describing it was like, this happening on camera in front of people when you have this much money and you have this major event coming up, and I'm just thinking how crazy you have to be to do something.
Terrible decision making. Absolute crash outs. I mean, the definition of it.
Like you said, generational crash out. It might be Gervonta Tank Davis at this point. So one more thing before we give our take on it is Jake Paul tweeted about it, and he stated, Gervonta Davis is an actual walking human piece of garbage. Working with him is an absolute nightmare. The unprofessionalism, the bizarre requests, the showing up hours late to shoots, to the numerous arrests and related accusations and lawsuits. If you support this man, you support the most vile sin a man can commit. I don't want to give this woman abuser a platform to grow his fans and to grow his bank account. My company champions women. I'm so sorry to everyone involved, mostly to the undercard fighters, to my team at MVP, and to my team who worked so hard prepping for this fight. Sacrificing time with loved ones and kids just for this fool to lose his unintelligent mind again. It's scary that devilish men like this can rise to the top of culture and sports, including in positions of power. I hope you people moving forward look beyond his fake streetwear pieces, swag, and search for something deeper to be a fan of. As for me, it's on to the next one, as always. Anytime, anyone, anytime, any place. Jake, MVP promotion. So that's what he had to say. Complex. We find ourselves in a complex situation. What's your reaction to all of this?
To say the least. So first off, let me just cover Gervonta. Like we said, and we talked about this in the last video. we take allegations like this very seriously. This is a civil lawsuit. It's potential that criminal, proceedings can happen as well. But if there's video, if there's things like that, that's absolutely terrible. First off, it's a terrible, option, for anybody to lay their hands on anybody, much less a woman, is awful, right? So we don't do that, especially if you're a sportsman, you fight in the ring, not in the streets, and then attacking a woman who is defenseless is just despicable. So,
but doing a job complex, like you said,
right, and she's working
at her job.
Exactly, at her job while she's working. It's just crazy. We already talked about that, but I think for Gervonta and Netflix, this is such a bad look. You know what's funny? Last night I was scrolling through Netflix and I saw an ad for like the upcoming behind the scenes of the Tank and Jake fight. They were supposed to do like the the 24/7 buildup. I doubt that's even going to get released now, right? So think about all the money and time that got poured into this, because in your mind, you're mad at your girlfriend at her job, doing her job in the VIP room of the club, is doing her job. So you're going to drive there, as he said, sober, go in there, act a fool. This is like, there's people in this world who just don't think well. And this is why, honestly, I always say you got to be careful. You know what you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis with people, because you thought in your mind, let me go drive to this place, right? It's a gentleman's club. So there's cameras everywhere. There's security everywhere, right? Let me attack her. You don't think there's any consequences. You don't think anything it hit in your head that, hey, maybe I should stop. Or maybe there's nobody on your team who can pull you back and be like, hey, chill, right? You're a professional boxer, a multi-millionaire professional boxer. You're not supposed to be doing this, right? There's nobody on your team could stop you or pause you. You drag her, you punch her. You're a boxer. You punched a woman in the face. That could be assault with like a deadly weapon or something. Like, there's so many levels to this that's so bad. And the simple fact is that this isn't the first time this happened. It's multiple times. And Tank just reminds me of dudes like, of dudes who basically, he got this opportunity, but if not for this, he probably would have been dead or in jail, if not for boxing, right? And that's the beautiful thing about boxing, because boxing saved lives for a lot of people. But he's the type of person that like is a real hood dude who basically would be like a menace to his community. And like, if not for boxing, he probably would have ended up doing something else illegal in his life and end up in jail or worse, dead. Because if this is your kind of decision making as a multimillionaire, when you have stuff to lose, like, Kaden and I are professional guys. We have a lot to lose. If some dude on the street wants to fight us, we're not going to just drop and fight. We're professionals. If anything goes wrong, we can lose licenses. We can lose standing in our community, all types of things. So we have a certain amount of self-respect to ourselves that we're not going to be caught in situations like that. But there's people who don't think of like that. They don't care. They'll just do whatever. And that's a crash out. And that's what we call them. They're crash test dummies. They just go against the wall. That's their job, right? You have to think more. You have to make a better decision making. So it's a real shame for Gervonta that he did that. I'll share it with you, and then I'll talk about Jake's response. But I want to kick it back off to you.
Oh, well, I'll just say this, because I've seen a lot of people like, well, you knew about this before you signed to fight him, Jake. You knew about these allegations and everything. For me, I think it's different when you hear about things, but there's a video. Think about the Ray Rice situation. We heard about it. He was about to play again, and then TMZ dropped the video. And then after TMZ dropped the video, he was suspended, and he never played another down in the NFL. So it's one thing to hear about something, but when you actually see it visually, it changes things, because you have people sometimes who are willing to say innocent until proven guilty, right? And you have people who want to give the benefit of the doubt. I even seen online some of the people saying, well, she went straight to the civil suit. She didn't even go to the police. So how come she didn't file this? And you can't always trust what people are saying. And as I brought up in the last video, Roley had allegations and he ended up clearing his name. So sometimes you want to give people the benefit of the doubt. But what Jake is saying is, I saw the actual video. So for him, it hits a little different. And so, yes, like maybe he is feeling a little different. But again, this information was out there and he knew it. For me, and there were people saying too, reporting that, oh, the fight hasn't been officially canceled. The fight's still going on. We touched on this. Netflix cannot go through with this with him because it would hurt their bottom line. Netflix has a goal.
I was going to say.
Go ahead.
No, just imagine a video on Fight Week, right? And think of how big Fight Week is. There's all this media. And then Sports Center is going to play on loop a video of Gervonta Davis dragging a girl through Tootsie's, dragging her into the parking lot, fighting with her. It would crash Netflix. It's like Netflix cannot touch this. Netflix is a family-friendly company, right? They have all types of viewing audiences. They don't want their name even a mile close to something like that. They don't want their name associated with it. They don't want their image in the background of a flight with Gervonta Davis and then Netflix, and then right next to it is going to be a video playing of him beating up a woman. Absolutely not. Never going to happen.
Yeah, they want to be on the right side of history. And just to point out, to add to what you're stating, originally MVP and Netflix announced they were investigating the situation. What do you think that investigation was? They were looking into seeing the likelihood of these allegations being true. They were looking for that smoking gun, like you said, Complex. Like, if we go forward with this fight, like the day of the fight, is there anything that can be dropped on TMZ, ESPN, that's going to hurt the brand of Netflix? And they found out that it was, and according to Jake Paul, it's this footage. Which brings me to another point. It is very hard to get away with anything in society today because there are cameras everywhere. There's cameras on people's phones. There's cameras on people's homes. Like, there are cameras all surrounding my house. Like,
glasses
everywhere. Like, there's people put cameras on their dash. There's cameras everywhere. So it's hard to get away with something. Nonetheless, you go to this public club where you're a public figure. You're not even a regular member of society, not even an average member of society. You are a famous boxer. And you go and you crash out. And that's the other thing. When you're a boxer, boxers haven't learned yet that your targets, when you play an aggressive sport where you're an aggressor, it doesn't even have to be a woman. It can be another man. If you get into an altercation with another man and you beat up another man, you're going to look bad because all they're going to have is footage of you training and knocking people out. And they're going to be like, you did this to an average human being who's untrained, who's not conditioned. It's just bad. So for Gervonta Tank Davis to behave this way, knowing that he had potentially the largest payday of his life, is to me ridiculous. And like Jake Paul said, unintelligent. But also it's selfish. Your kids weren't enough for you to behave. Do you know how many people across America don't like their job? Get into it where their boss may say something to them that pushes them to the brink where they want to walk in there and be like, F you, you're horrible at your job. You just got lucky to be in your position. Whatever they feel like getting off their chest, but they think about their kids. They think about the bills. They think about providing for their family, and they suck it up and they say, you know what? I'm going to sit on this one. Maybe later, if they move on, they move up, and they'll be able to express how they feel, but they put their family first. See, you'll have so many people willing to excuse this. Like, I would say, look at the people who are excusing this behavior, because that's going to tell you a lot about them and who they are. You know, oh, you give them a break. You don't give that a break. What are you talking about? Netflix had millions backed in this. Jake Paul, the undercard fighters. How about Gervonta Tank Davis' family, and he crashes out like this? This isn't the first time that he crashed out like this either. So again, you have to understand, like, how many times have people try to forgive Adrian Broner, and he keeps showing you who he is time and time again? You got to look at people like there's multiple areas of life. If every area of their life they need a second chance, or they need people to give them a break, and they need the standard to be lowered, like everyone else is held to a higher standard, but at every facet of their life, they need the standard lowered for them, and they need you to feel sorry for them. They need some empathy for them. They need some compassion for them. They need a break for them. Then that's a problem. And that's what Jake was getting at. Like, hopefully y'all can see through a facade and see through this so-called culture, which again, I don't understand why some of what Tank is doing is idolized, but hey, it is what it is. But the reality is, for me, Netflix did the right thing. And really, only thing I have to say is learn from other people's mistakes. Smart people learn from other people's mistakes. If you're a young man, learn from this. Coming up, if you're a boxer, active athlete in any sport, learn from this mistake. Learn from it, okay? Because in the end, this man couldn't control his emotions. So even if this woman was cheating, you're about to make 40 million, bro. You can trust me. It's like the bus. You know, trust me. You would have been
This
able to.
One, next 15, one coming.
Exactly.
Shout out to
What
Gucci.
they say? It's 1,000 yous. There's only one of me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what Lil Wayne said? He said, if she ain't trying to, I get on my skateboard and I skate past her. You understand? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's like, my man, it bothered you that bad? That's a problem. That's who y'all are idolizing? That's who y'all are idolizing. All right. You got anything to add to that?
Nah, man. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. You know, it's Corner to Corner with Caden and Complex. Peace.